Welcome in to episode 17 of our Let's Play Humankind series at the top difficulty level. We're at Humankind difficulty. Things are moving right along. We have finally ended our war, and in this episode, we will be finally moving out of the medieval era and up into the early modern. In this episode, you'll get my takes on each of the different cultures currently in the early modern, and we will make our selection for what we think will progress us best in this particular game as we look to continue to, we're not dominating. I think we're solidly in second place. We'll check in on that in just a second. So we need a little bit more kind of a nuanced approach here heading into the early modern. Our war is over, so we could take slightly a different tactic going into this next era. I'm excited about what is going to transpire today as we make our selection and play through, hopefully, a bunch of turns as we get into kind of being able to not be at war and be able to sim a little bit more. If you need to catch up on any of the episodes, the link to episode 1 is down in the description below. You could jump to that at any time, get caught up on how we got to where we are right now. If you like the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and that you're subscribed to the channel so you find out when we release all these videos. Sundays typically is when they are coming out. Let's jump into the action and see what is going on turn 120 as the Norsemen in the medieval era. Here we are, of course, once again in our capital city of Anug. It is now growing. We can now see 36 people. This is good. Ever since the war has ended and we have been able to stop training military units and kind of get ourselves back on track, our population is starting to skyrocket. I say it's good. It's good and bad, because now, see, we're coming up against our population cap. I like that our population is increasing. This is nice, and I like to see that. But we now have run up into the, well, now we've got some potential problems as far as population cap is concerned, and we have a backlog of districts we're trying to build from the war that has backed up into our queue. And we actually need to be building hamlets now. So it's really fun. This game has been so unique to me from a game of Humankind because I have never had this happen before. I have backed up a little bit on the queue when I'm one turning to get into the next era, but then everything pretty much just gets built right away and I don't end up backed up. We just finished building ancient era stuff. We've got, none of our stupas are even in this city. We one-turned them all, and they're just sitting there. We're one-turning now, and we're about to move up. We're going to be 2 eras behind on emblematic districts, and that actually compounds the fact that because we're building districts, we're actually also in a situation where we're not even building our infrastructure. So we have all of our infrastructures that we've been building as we need them, but we've got kind of problems with build. So as we move up and what our selection will be, hopefully, as we kind of trend towards that direction, we'll be able to see that the Muggles are the only available, as we've talked about, industry-based culture in the early modern. If we could snag them, that would probably be our best bet and actually get some of those emblematics built in, take advantage of all of the bonuses and affinity bonuses that we have from the industry-based culture. That would be probably beneficial to us. So that's where we're going to trend, but we're still one-turning Nousts. We still need to one-turn Nousts. We're one-turning Nousts in a bunch of cities, but I don't have anything else to do. I think we're kind of caught up on treaties and everything like that, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to press the end turn button, and we're going to jump into turn 121. At some point very, very early here, we're going to have all our Nousts one-turned, and we can switch our attention to moving up and selecting our culture to the next era. And here we go. We already had 1 person move up. We now have 2 more move ups. Icarus going with the Hoseon, from the Kamai to the Hoseon. Interesting. So industry to science. I don't actually love that because Icarus is the one who is in the lead. He is winning this game, and now a combination of industry and science coming out from the cultures he's choosing. That is a potent combination for endgame scenarios that might make it difficult potentially to swing fame in our favor. Plosif also moving up, going from the Swahili to the Dutch. So Plosif taking a page out of the Madishmoose book, going Swahili to Dutch, and probably earning gold hand over fist. Plosif, that's an interesting move. I love the pure gold route. It's kind of almost Harbor Strat-esque. Again, if you haven't seen the Harbor Strat Let's Play series, we were making gold at an enormous rate. Our money per turn was insane. Our coffers were full by the end of that one. If you want to check that one out, it's also in the Humankind section of the YouTube channel. There's a whole series on the harbor strat, which was a lot of fun to play. So interesting happenings. Interesting from Plosive. All right, our ransack was successful. We have ransacked. What are the ramifications of this? We have yet to find out. Okay, so here's the thing. This ruin is going to break me putting... It's a great location. Like, this is where I want, for sure. But now that it's... Where are we going to place it? Plosive, yeah, just burned this right back down again. So that's great. We love it. We picked up 3 curiosities. Gold, gold, and more gold. So rolling in gold on the curiosities this time. Let's get our units moving. There's another curiosity, another gold curiosity, more gold. That's 4 curiosities, all gold on the same turn. Huge. And this is, again, why in the past couple episodes we've been talking about once you hit the medieval era, get boats out. Get boats out as soon as you can get them because the curiosities start spawning in the water and, man, you could pick up a bunch of curiosities. Most of the land curiosities are going to be gone at this point because all the territory has been claimed. Everything's kind of been done. But in the water... you have an opportunity to collect a lot of curiosities that get very powerful the later the game kind of goes on as you continue to find them. We have a whole navy built just on curiosities, which is wild, right? So, okay, so we want to claim this land, but the problem is if we claim it directly on top... Oh, did they fix this? That would be lovely if they fixed this. This, look, it says plus 16 plus 22, which would be a correct... That would be correct, based on all the numbers. We'll see if that actually transpires. We're gonna just place it and see. But I'm fascinated to see if this actually functions. We may end up having to move it here, just because if this tile is busted because of the... I don't know why that's happening, but remember we had that happen multiple times where if you ransack something and then immediately place something on it, the ruin seems to it doesn't allow the exploitations to happen around it. So you can see it is saying right now it is going to exploit all of that. So let's see. It did not. Yeah, it definitely didn't. So definitely broken still. That's unfortunate. I wonder what happens if we move it and then put it back maybe. I don't know. Let's find out. So that exploited, right? What if we move it back now? Ah, there we go. That is very frustrating and needs to be patched. That needs to be fixed because that's ridiculous. I don't understand that. I mean, obviously, I've got the influence to be able to just pop it back and forth really quick, but man, that is just odd. Let's throw down our Noust. That's already a harbor, is it not? Yeah, we don't want to put it on top of that. No. 23, 25, we just stick it right in here. Oh, that's gonna look beautiful. Look how beautiful this is gonna look. Oh, it's gonna be lovely. Look at it. Oh! That shape is perfect for the Noust. Little curve in there. Love it. Okay, so they've got their Noust in, and we can actually now attach all the way through. But can we attach all the way through? Palataputra is at an 80%. We're about to put another Noust in. That's going to drop us by another 10%. So, we're talking about this has got a harbor and a Noust on it, plus the ad. That's 40. 50 if they finish this Noust. We'd be dropping by 50. We'd be going down to 30% if we ran this attachment. That feels pretty bad. So I think what we're going to need to do is... we don't have a garrison in this city yet. I feel like we have need for a garrison. Let's place a garrison somewhere.
The competition for fame and renown is fierce. You are doing well, but there are others you still need to pass.
Thank you for the update, Mr. Narrator, sir. Appreciate that. We want to be able to defend up in... like, I don't know, this is all, we'd have low ground on all these fights. I don't know, let's, I'm just gonna put it out on the coast right. Let's put it there. Let's actually, I'm gonna let that, did I let that Noust finish? I think I let that Noust finish, because that's gonna be a lot of food. That's gonna be a bunch of food, potentially, from that. So let's let that Noust finish. Then we'll get the garrison in, and then actually we're just immediately going to probably put City Watch in. And then I'm not gonna attach immediately. Or am I? Problem is I want to double attach, because if I can attach Formosa, but I definitely can't double attach. We're gonna need some stability fixes before we can do that, right? Well, let's just stick with this. We'll just see how that's going. Maybe we go threaten these boats. They're just quads. Man, that is a massive navy.
Unfortunately, this time you are merely a bystander to someone else's glory.
Understandable. Okay, let's check how bystanderish are we. Icarus is in the lead at 11.5 thousand with 2 stars in the next era already. We are not picking up any more stars in this era, so 9,830 or 9,830 is what we're going to move up with. That is going to be what we move up with, because there are no stars left for us to collect. It will take us far too long to get any of the remaining stars, including this builder star. 5 builds. I'm not going to wait 5 build, although 5, so 4. If we put this back down, no, I think that, because it's got ransacked, I don't think that counts again. So that would be 4 builds only that we need. But all of these are going to cost too much, right? Like, just too much. So we are going to move up as soon as all of our Nousts are 1 turn. So let's jump through. Got boats kind of messing around everywhere. I think we can cut through Burley's territory here. So let's do that. Let's just get them doing their thing. Although they have been collecting a lot of curiosities over here. Oh, see, and now, well, how badly do I want these guys back home? I don't know. I guess I'm just, curiosities are doing really good things for us. Okay, this guy can now, I guess we keep him in the water in case another curiosity forms. I don't think that we're gonna get any more curiosity. Let's get him back up. Oh, hi. Wonderful. More gold. Wow, we have a lot of gold. Okay, so where's oh, yeah, this guy is just kind of patrolling in this vicinity, but we really kind of want him just popping out, like, back and forth in the ocean, right? Like, just unveiling fog and seeing if there's curiosities in these ocean tiles. It's essentially what we want from him. Okay, I actually thought about something. I don't want these guys stuck here, necessarily, right? So these guys, right, are coming onto land. They're going to come up and get ready to attack this city. But I actually need these guys to come out as well. We're going to move them over here. Because we want to run this attack. We want to attack this unit, actually. We're going to pull all their units into the fight first. And then we'll attack the city after that. Which will get us control of Pemukali. We're actually going to probably... there's a lot of districts here. But I think we're going to burn... We're probably going to burn it down. We'll burn the city down. And then attach... and it'll probably get, it's going to get attached into our capital, actually. Which, can we actually pull that off? No, we're exactly unsettled, so we can't quite probably pull it off. Although, well, we'd get the stability of this. Plus 10 stability on city or outpost, so that actually would balance out probably quite nicely if we add it in. So we might end up doing that. We do have some districts to account for as well in that, so we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, now we need to go make sure we're one-turning all our Nousts. This one has been one-turned, so we need to place... I'm hoping our last one... Yes. Okay, good. Our final Noust in this territory. I like this. This will look... Oh, it doesn't split with the Noust. Oh, this looks cool. I can't do it, though. That looks amazing. Can we just all agree right now that this looks just absolutely great. Just fascinatingly good. This will look amazing, but it cuts our food in half, so I can't actually justify doing that. But that looks so good. We're gonna put it up here, I guess. Oh man, that's such a cool look. Love the looks in this game. Right, we'll put it here. And then we need to move it in, and we will begin the one-turn process there. These guys have another Noust as well. They have their final Noust, so they will get a final Noust in here. Move that in as well. These guys have built all their Nousts right here and right here. They both have turns into them. We are currently putting turns into Tota G, which I'm actually fine with. I'd like to get that built because we need to claim some wonders in the next era as well. Formosa... We might try to throw a Naust in here on our last turn again, and then maybe try to attach into it. I'm not sure. That place has been confusing me for quite some time. We're gonna stick with this. Where is this cloud shrine being built? I feel like we should probably build this cloud shrine somewhere. Is this placed somewhere? No. Oh, fascinating. So we have a cloud shrine to build that will get us plus 20 stability in any city of our choosing. Now, unfortunately, Corral desperately needs... We're dropping to 20%. Corral desperately needs to fix their problems because of our attach over here that had, like, the whole city in it that I totally forgot about, which was quite entertaining. Man, there's so many good infrastructures to be built. I think we just have to... I literally think we have to build another garrison. I don't think we have any other choice but to build more garrisons in this territory. It'll be plus 10. Great temple. So I think, yeah, let's put another garrison up here. Then we'll have it work toe to G. Okay, is that all? Is that all? All of our cities have now been checked, I think, right? One turning, one turning. This city is done, the other city is done. Okay, so we're good. We're good to end turn, and then I think the next turn is our move up, right? We'll have all of our one turns done. Let's do it. All right, let's do moment of truth. No one moved up. At least no one has moved up currently, so the Muggles will still be available. The Haudenosaunee? Alright, I probably mispronounced that, but they're also available too. Grievances we can collect. Let's keep our people moving. This army is now a defensive army for the New World, so we're kind of just hanging out. I think we hang out right here for now, so we'll just skip on them. These guys, I almost feel like putting them on auto-explore, but I don't want them to get too lost. Our naval there we go. We're probably going to lose that. These guys, we're going to poke back out here again. We see another, I guess we just keep going. If we don't, I think we not retreat, but we need to get back where we can actually use them militarily if we need to, which is kind of the goal, right? We could just... Does this guy have any veterancy? Oh, he actually does have some veterancy. We could upgrade this guy and eventually stick him in this army when we get the army upgrade done. So let's just put him in this city for now. We'll actually just station him there. I don't need him to go exploring at all currently. We can actually upgrade him straight to a knight, which is kind of crazy. A fight! Hello? Plosif, you attacking me with a... Oh, okay. Interesting. Plosif is engaging in a huge fight here. In a Free People's Land. Plosif really wants to fight us. Like, really badly. If we instant resolve, what happens? This guy lives? Does that mean we die? Are you saying we die? In this fight, they are. What has he got? He has a knight. We don't have any knights, so that's like 36 attack is pretty nice. He's got some pretty upgraded people as well as... Oh, sorry, I went back to... He's got great swordsman as compared to my regular swordsman. So yeah, that's problematic. What are these guys? 30 attack? Yeah, so that's not great. He's also got crossbowmen and he's got pikemen, but the pikemen would not be great against me necessarily at 31 attack. Especially because most of my guys are peasants that will be using. I don't know if I want to take this fight though. All our guys are stacked kind of low ground. He gets opening volleys. I think we just retreat from this. Come back with maybe a more strategic positioning and like an attack first mentality. Plosif is being really aggressive. We'll retreat from that current. Where did he come and even attack with that? He came down out of his territory? I mean, I could see why you do that. I mean, I positioned a large army really, like right on his border. And I literally am positioned to about to take this, and he probably has a ton of people in there. It could get a little sticky here if Plosif and Icarus have been itching to go to war with me for quite some time. And Plosif has this ridiculous navy just sitting out here. It's just a huge navy. Absolutely enormous, which we have to avoid in fights, especially when we get into the next era with the upgrade to Carracks. Whenever the Carrack upgrades happens, that's going to make them just brutally ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. We got a 1 turn still, right? We're still... Or did we end turn? I can't remember. Oh, no. We're done. Okay. So we are good to go. All of our nousts are in across our entire empire. Everything has been 1 turned. Except for this place, which I actually don't think I can even place now. We'd have to put it up here, which... I mean, I guess I could do that. I could try throwing it down again, just for funsies. Ah! Immediately Plosive is like, absolutely not. I will burn that down. That's unbelievable. Alright, well, all of the nousts are in. Oh, Plosive hates me. Okay, let's go through our different options here in the early modern era. We'll get moved up this turn. We'll go through the first 3 here that are taken first. The Dutch are one of my favorite early modern era cultures. This is partially because I have a Dutch heritage and background. The problem with the Dutch is they're a little bit circumstantial. So the VOC warehouse is pretty decent, even if you just have 1 harbor. But where the VOC warehouse really makes its money is if you have chosen multiple harbor cultures throughout the game. So if you've played, for instance, the Phoenicians, the Carthaginians, the Swahili, the Norsemen, right? If you combo some of those together and have maybe 3 or 4, because you also have your normal harbor, right? That all of a sudden makes the VOC warehouse incredibly potent. All of that is demonstrated in the harbor strat video, that series. But the VOC warehouse is pretty decent if you want to make money. It's also got that +2 money per trader, which is actually really big if you're engaging in a lot of trade. And then +1 money per pop is always crazy. Anything per population in the game of Humankind is crazy. It's just a big deal to have per pop anything because your population can end up ballooning pretty fast. And so these numbers end up pretty good. So money per pop is great. And that's their cultural thing with the cultural affinity that you get. So that's like permanent and great. The flute is also nice. Anytime that your naval transport vessel becomes your best naval vessel in your entire fleet, you don't actually have to build a navy. You could just put your units in the water. That's handy if you don't have a navy to start with, because it means that all of your armies that are in the water are heavily protected because they all turn into your unique unit, which would be, in the Dutch's case, the flute. And so then you end up with a 39 attack boat in the water as opposed to whatever the normal transport ship is, which is not very good, right? So you get a lot of protection in the water when you have an emblematic unit that is a naval transport, because it just makes it pretty nice. So anyways, Dutch are one of my favorites. I like them a lot, but again, kind of circumstantial. The Hoseon are definitely very popular in this era. I believe they are, if not the only, there's only one other. Nope, they're the only. Yeah, they're the only science affinity culture in the early modern era. So if you're going science, the Hoseon definitely are potent. +3 science on tiles producing science. There's not a lot of tiles that produce science necessarily. So this is not like my favorite thing in the world. It's definitely good. Like, it's definitely good. You're gonna boost your science a little bit with this, so I don't mind it. But it's also not like the most amazing thing ever. They have a unique district that, unique unit, sorry, that is a escort ship. So 50 attack, you'll notice. So big attack on this. Again, it's not transport, but if you're looking at Navy in the early modern, which is a pretty potent thing at this point in the game, ever since Navy's got boosted, this could be useful to you. And the Seiwan is really nice. So you get some influence from it, and you get a bunch of science, right? So it's very much a science-oriented culture, and the Seiwan is very science-oriented. You get +1 science per researcher, which is nice. You get a research slot. You're getting, it's again, Seiwan is one of those ones where you want to surround it with research quarters, but the Seiwan is definitely a very decent district. The Poles are interesting. The Winged Hussars are pretty potent. You get them, I think, relatively early on here. And then the most interesting fact about the Poles probably is this +2 stability on district right here. So you get +10 district fortification on city, like on district. That's fine. That's great. You're become much more defensible as the Poles. So that's like, in my opinion, neither here nor there. But this +2 stability on district is really potent because for all your districts that you've built and all of the districts that you will build now are only costing you a -8 stability. So that becomes pretty impactful if you're in stability trouble. That would be one of the reasons to pick the polls just on that, is just the +2 stability per district. Solves a lot of initial stability problems and has ongoing ramifications for that as well. The Barbican is very so-so, in my opinion. It is a garrison commons quarter, so it's definitely better than just a garrison or just a commons quarter. Certainly better than just a commons quarter. But you get +8 stability from it, so that's good. Like, on its face, like, that's nice. Plus, because it's a commons quarter, if you surround it with other districts, again, you can quickly solve a lot of your stability issues with between the Barbican and the +2 stability on district. But really, if you're not having any stability problems, the polls are, in my opinion, kind of so-so. But you do have options for them to, like, use, right? And if you're going military, they have options for you there. We can also stay as the Norseman. We're not going to do that, but that 10% fame gain bonus modifier early in the game, I think, is very important. As we get into, like, these later eras, you're not getting as much of a bonus out of it. I like a transcend out of the very first era, because then you get that 10% across all the rest of the eras. That's my advice if you're looking to transcend, is transcend early, don't transcend late, more than likely, is typically what I would say. All right, the Swiss, one of our new diplomatic cultures. Inhospitable terrain, you get +100% army upkeep on non-allied units in your territory, and then +100 leverage from units in demilitarized territory. So utilizing the actual abilities of the Swiss and of the diplomatic cultures pretty heavily. Obviously, you're going to want to place your demilitarized zones very strategically to take advantage of this. My main problem with this is once you move up off of the Swiss, you won't have the demilitarization ability anymore. Somebody probably will. There probably will be demilitarized zones in the game, but I don't think that you probably won't be, unless you're choosing another diplomatic culture, which was viable, right? You lose a lot of control over this, so it's not my favorite of the affinity abilities, of the traits, of the affinity traits that you can have. I don't know much about this. It's an anti-cav. Knights are pretty popular still around this time, so I would think that maybe this would still be useful. I'm just not really keen on building anti-cav units most of the time. That's just me, though. The Watchmakers Guild is kind of fascinating because it does allow construction of districts off of it. So much like a hamlet, you can actually build from it. And then what you choose to build around it that's what benefits from it, right? So the Watchmakers Guild itself is not like fantastic, but you end up with, if you put a farmer's quarter around it, if you put a worker's quarter around it, if you put a, whatever you put, right, you're getting +2 from that, which is pretty nice. And it counts as a market's quarter in and of itself, so you're going to get some gold in that. It's kind of a very versatile, and like, if you have like decent land, or even if you have like non-decent land, or just looking to like put districts down, I feel like the Watchmakers Guild like could fit the bill for that. But all in all, the Swiss are kind of in my opinion. The Caribbean Pirates are a fascinating addition to the game. You don't get an emblematic district, which is my major problem with them. But if you're gonna go around poaching, particularly Navy, right? Navy is poaching. If you go around doing the poaching stuff, both on Army and on well, I guess Army and Navy count as the same thing in this, but basically, you're gonna get a lot more out of it if you're going around plundering. So if that's your plan, you could play the Caribbean Pirates and make good use of them. It would probably be one of those where you're probably gonna quick the early modern. If you pick the Caribbean Pirates, I feel like you don't want to sit around in the early modern for very long. Although, now I'll throw this out here, we're not going to do this, but in the game we're playing specifically, because we're so behind on building districts and other things, we could theoretically go with the Caribbean Pirates because they don't have a district to build. We wouldn't have to focus on one turning in or building in more districts. We could just finish the ones we have in our queue, get our cities back online, all while running a navy around and plundering a whole bunch. So the game we're playing actually could possibly lend itself to Caribbean Pirates if you wanted to go that way. Obviously, you get access to the Buccaneers, which are a nice attacking unit early with Gunner, and then you've got the sloops, which have some pretty good attack as well. So again, you can make yourself pretty potent on the water and then get a bunch of bonuses from poaching and plundering. So if you find yourself on a heavy water map, it might be fun to play the Caribbean Pirates, or in a situation like we're in where you need to catch up on things. Possible. The Inca are another really interesting culture. You get +5 road movement, which is really, +50%, sorry, which is really nice. You can move your units around really fast. This +3 food on districts per adjacent mountain is actually really interesting. It particularly lends itself to if you've played other cultures that benefit from mountains. There's a couple early on that do. Then your districts all of a sudden become kind of valuable because you've put them next to mountains already, and now all of a sudden those districts are producing food. Oftentimes, this also is beneficial for if you've got a lot of industrial quarters down, right? If you've got the workers' quarters in, because they're typically adjacent to mountains, because the mountains have the highest industry rating that you're trying to exploit. So now all of a sudden, your makers' quarters are actually producing some really nice food because they're adjacent to mountains. So that's kind of interesting. The Sapa Inca guards are again anti-cav. That's unfortunate, but that's fine. The terrace farm is also interesting. It's not highly potent though. You get that 25% territory attachment cost on adjacent territories. That's really nice. If for some reason you haven't attached prior to the early modern, the terrace farm could make it like really effective to be able to run some attachments after building them in. And then +3 food per adjacent mountain. So again, you're going to get the +3 food, and I think it combos with this, right? So you actually double that up, I'm relatively certain, because it's a district that you're putting next to things, right? So the terrace farm, it's not awesome, though. Like, I wouldn't say it's, like, crazy good. So the Inca, all in all, unless you've got a ton of mountains around you and you've been building on mountains constantly, the Inca are, again, circumstantial, probably. And I've definitely pronounced this wrong every time, but the Haudenosaunee, they're fantastic. One of the best early modern cultures, easily. +1 food on exploitation. That's just instant food on any food exploit you have. That's great. Combos well with other things as well later on. Their unique unit is also pretty potent. It's an early unit with a gun, which is really nice. They also have stealth, which is great if you're invading or even just trying to like get into territories. Like a unit that has stealth abilities, which is good. And the Three Sisters plantation is really nice, especially if you're suffering on the food standpoint. +5 food per number of attached territories, +3 food per farmer's quarter, and it counts as a farmer's quarter, right? So it's definitely this. If you need food, Haudenosaunee will definitely get you there. So definitely one to think about if you're in the early modern era. The Maasai are also interesting. Pastoral prowess is a really good trait. -25 population consumption on all cities. All of your population consume 25% less food. I think they consume, I can't remember what it is. Is it 8 normally? So if you drop that by 25%, you're dropping it to what, 6 or something like that? Don't let me do math. But you get some really nice immediate benefits, right? For the rest of the game, your population consumption goes down, which is nice. You've got a ranged unit here, which is really interesting. I don't know if they have direct line of sight or not. It'd be really interesting. I haven't played with this unit very often, so they seem pretty potent though. The Nkang is also like, it's fine. It's fine. It's not the Haudenosaunee, but it does allow the construction of districts on adjacent tiles. So is that new? I don't even know if I remember that. That's interesting. So you can build off it like a hamlet, +5 food per adjacent exploitation. So it basically says it's like a set value, right? Your Nkang is like a set value. It's like a subpar hamlet basically that's just going to get you more food. So not bad for sure. The Maasai are definitely a good choice here. If you haven't got the Haudenosaunee, the Maasai become an interesting choice. But I feel like the Haudenosaunee, from a food standpoint, like outweigh the Maasai if that's the direction you're going. The Ming are another one of those aesthete, so you get the aesthete ability in the early modern. That's not the worst thing in the world. You're still probably using some influence. The aesthete ability is the most potent ability in the game for sure, especially early game. As you start getting to the early modern, though, maybe not so important anymore. Grand Secretariat just reduces the cost of your civics and then gives you some influence per civic. The early modern is that era where you're kind of not sure you really want to value influence anymore, and this is one of my major issues with Humankind, is that In the early game, influence is so critical to everything that you focus on it with all of your might, basically. Like, aesthete civ, aesthete cultures, aesthete abilities, anything that gets you influence is hugely powerful, especially in your first two eras. As you get to the early modern, this is kind of the era where it turns, and you're like, oh, I don't really have a lot to spend this on, necessarily. A lot of my attachments are done, a lot of my expansion is done, so it's just like civics and wonders, kind of. It'd be nice if you could do something else with influence in the late game that made it more valuable to pick these, because I would almost never take the Ming unless for some reason I was like way behind in influence, or I was still claiming maybe on like a large map they might become very viable. The Grand Tea House is a Commons Quarter. You all know I think very lowly of Commons Quarters. +1 influence per districts and territory. Again, like, you're gonna get a lot of influence, but how valuable is that anymore? I don't even know, right? So the Ming would fall pretty low on my list here. The Muggles, which is who we're going to choose, definitely a good choice here. They're the only industry-based culture in this era. So you get your builder ability. You also are going to get Imperial Magnificence, +2% industry per number of territories in your sphere of influence on capital. Our sphere of influence is, I think, actually doing pretty well. So this could be highly beneficial. I think it really only pays off in your capital, so it makes your capital, like, pretty potent. The rest of your cities, maybe not so much. But I think that it will make our capital, we'll be cranking in the capital with this. The Gajnal gives us yet another elephant unit. It's kind of it's a fun unit because you've got a big cannon kind of thing mounted on top of an armored elephant. It just looks cool. You can move and fire, so it's pretty potent, actually, for someone who's not a militarist civ. The Jama Masjid is definitely good. Again, it's the only emblematic district that is available to you that allows you to, in this era, that allows you to do industry, right? The Maker's Quarters. +3 industry per workers, big. +3 industry per adjacent Maker's Quarter. Again, that's a lot of industry. You could get your industry up pretty high with these Jama Masjids, and then build around them for the rest of the game to expand on their ability, which is nice. So we will be picking the Muggles. We have a few more to go through here, though. The Ottomans, they're expansionist. Expansionist, again, at this point in the game, start to get a little bit tricky because you're not really expanding much anymore unless you're on a huge scale map. But if you're going to war, you're expanding. So you could use your Janissaries as well as your heavy weapon reduction in cost to be able to go and get some new land, which potentially would be a very good idea. And heavy weapons, obviously, bonus, like, huge bonuses to heavy weapons for the Ottomans. You have your Sultan Kami as well. It's just a religious district. It's really interesting. I mean, it looks beautiful. You're obviously going to generate faith and influence on here, but it's not anything. It's just a religious district. That, in my opinion, is kind of weak, and so you wouldn't really need to even focus on building too many of them necessarily, because it's not a market quarter. It's not anything. It's just a religious district. So it's going to get your religious district bonuses. You're going to generate faith and influence, but again, how valuable are these at that point in the game? I don't know. So not my favorite, but again, you want to use heavy weapons? Ottomans is your go-to. The Spanish are an interesting choice, especially if you're going to war. +3 combat strengths on unsupplied units. So if you're sending units way off into enemy territory, the conquistadors are decently potent. They also get you money. And the Cathedral Gattacas, are really powerful. Very powerful. If you are looking for a district to save your faith, if you're losing your religion and you're trying to save it, this is where you want to go. Plus faith per pop on a district. On a district. You can build one of these in all of your territories. Plus faith per pop. That is a monstrous amount of faith. I'm not actually sure there's any other district that generates as much faith as the cathedrals do. That is a huge amount of faith. Plus you get +3 faith per adjacent district. And it's a commons quarter, so you definitely want to be building around it in order to get more stability. Gets you stability, gets you faith. The Spanish aren't a bad choice if you're trying to push your religion or save your religion. The cathedrals are actually a pretty potent district. I would love to see a faith rework from Humankind. It would make this an even more powerful building, potentially, if we could do more with faith than just the religion thing. The Edo-Japanese are interesting only in that they will get you influence, and influence is debatably not so great, but they do have +1 influence per pop. Again, per pop numbers are huge, so if you're struggling for influence, Edo-Japanese will get you where you want to go from that standpoint. You also have your samurai. They look amazing. They're anti-cav, unfortunately. And they also have honor code, which prevented this army from retreating, which is kind of negative, but hopefully the bonuses of fighting is good for the samurai. I've never played with them, but they seem fun. The Terra, again, is just a religious district. It also has adjacency per mountain. So, are you around mountains? It'll get you more influence. It'll get you some faith. It just feels kind of weak to me, to be honest. So the Edo-Japanese are not my favorite. And then finally, you have the Venetians. Venetians, I have not gotten to play as, at least haven't in a really long time. They seem very powerful, though. +1 money per number of trade routes, +2 money per number of naval trade routes, and plus influence per number of trade routes. That's a lot of bonuses in just a trait. If you're maintaining trade routes in peace with a lot of people, this makes your trade routes immaculately good. You're getting +1 money per trade. You're getting +1 influence per trade. And if it's naval, which most trade routes are once you get to like this stage in the game, you're getting +2 money instead of just the +1. This is huge, but very beneficial going into the rest of the game, I feel like. Again, the numbers aren't going to be like off the charts good, but they could potentially be if you're trading a lot. They have a cool boat. It's an escort ship. It's really potently high. They also get that inner sea mastodonte, much higher combat strength when in coastal waters. I don't know what that much higher means, but most of the time you're probably fighting in coastal waters. Put these guys in coastal waters and just go to town. I think you'd be cruising at that point. And then you have the Botteghi di Artisti, very versatile district because it's getting you influence and gold. So again, if you're struggling for influence, why not take, rather than someone who just gets you influence like the Edo-Japanese, why not take the Venetians, build some of these, and you actually get the gold and the influence, and you get something that's more useful later on in the game. Plus, the +1 money on tiles producing money, a lot of influence, definitely a potent district. I think the Venetians are very powerful. I would love to maybe build a game around the Venetians where trade is like more focused. I think that they would be a really potent choice as well. That is all of the cultures in the early modern era. We are going to slide back over to the Muggles. We are going to choose the Muggles. One of the other things that we get access to is the affinity bonus. Gains 10 stability when completing a district's construction. This is a temporary stability, right? But it's going to actually help us maintain our stability, at least through this era when we're playing as the Muggles in the early modern. So let us adopt the Muggles, and we will roll the move up turn video.
Geography, cartography, algebra, optics, astronomy. It's a time of discovery and exploration. But discoveries are not made solely by traders and adventurers. Those who explore with ships and caravans would go in circles without those who explore with pens and parchment. So, did you choose them for their impressive constructions?
Yes.
I bet it was the elephants with cannons.
That helps. That does help, Mr. Narrator. Indeed. All right. And now, the other thing we get access to, right, is that builder stars are worth more for us, which is pretty nice.
What do you know? It really is round, after all.
We did it! Hey, we got circumnavigate. Nice. Must have gotten that on the last turn. All right, so big move up for us. We got some starvation going on, so that's not great.
I don't mean to nag, but the marks one leaves on history should not necessarily be from malnutrition.
What happened? How did we lose food so fast? Oh, is it? Oh, because we went over Popkin. Starfish reservoirs back in. That's a 4 turn though. Uh-oh. All right. Well, here's the deal. We need to build hamlets, but man, they are very costly at this point. We gotta probably get our Jawamas Jeeds in first to up our production value, or we could probably boost. Oh man, like 22. Yeah, like 22 and 19 industry here. That's a ton. Jeez, we need to get some of these in. We need to get some of these in post-haste. We may need to, we may need to focus on getting some of these built before we start building districts. Artificial Reservoirs obviously helps us now. I think we'll buy out this. That will not actually slow our population drop, so I guess we have to buy out a unit. I'm not, like, opposed to that, necessarily. I mean, it's not my favorite thing in the world. But I guess we have, we do have need for maybe another army, potentially, so I feel like we could buy out a unit and be fine. What do we want to buy, though? You know? Get another... Get a cog? Get a cog out here? I don't actually mind that. How much is a cog? 1,500? We get a pikeman for, like, real cheap and not spend a bunch of our gold. But I feel like a cog would actually be, like, beneficial to it. It only decreases our pop by 1. Great swordsman decreases our pop by 2, which would actually help permanently. I'm just going to grab a cog. We're going to start developing a navy. Buy that. We'll get the city. We got to get... Oh, man. We got to get some stuff done in the city. Our cities need some... Potentially need some help, you know? Alright, this army is just sitting here, but I do want to check on that army every so often. These guys... Did they get their thing? They probably didn't. Well, maybe they did. We'll head back here, and we'll just kind of slink our way along the coast maybe a little bit. Go pick up that other cog, probably, to be honest. These guys are going to cut through here. What do you mean we can't go in there? Burley, did you downgrade our treaty? I thought we were an ally with you.
A pleasure to see you again.
Hi. Can I not enter your land? Excuse me, sir. Oh, you have lead? Oh, yeah, and the paper's still there, too. We should probably be trading a little bit more. Let's renounce that.
It would be best to let bygones be bygones.
I should be able to enter there.
Thank you for this.
Oh, maybe that boat is in my way. That's probably what's wrong, right?
Yes, greetings.
Hi.
I hope you don't mind if I stay.
Do you like humanitarian aid?
Benefit from growing closer, don't you think?
How rude.
Where have you been?
I'm right here. I didn't leave. What do we want here? Monumental contractors, maybe?
This proposition should be in all our best interests.
No, clearly not.
Welcome.
Icarus,
Let us speak
who
honestly
wants
with
to
each
destroy us, effectively. Be a great friend. We can be great friends. They have 7 demands against us. Holy smokes. And then look at this. It's kind of questionable at best over here. Alright, look, we dealt with that. We're good there. Got armies all over the place. Urim is gained. Yeah, Urim gained pop and then ended up with problems, right? So, okay, so we can't go this way. Yeah, specifically because of that boat. So I guess we'll just, like, pop into the ocean and back. See if that boat will move. Kind of a pain. Alright, let's pick a tech. That ended at a perfect time. We actually didn't end up burning any... That's beautiful. We did not burn a single turn of science on that. That's really lovely. I like that a lot. Okay, here's the thing. Karaks are massively ridiculous in this game. I am very tempted. Very tempted to go straight to the Karak because of how potent it is. I don't think we need city cap, right? Like, we're sitting fine on city cap. I mean, technically I want to get to humanism, right? I guess we go straight to humanism. That's my move every time in this era. So humanism, which used to be called something else. I can't remember what it was called. But it used to be called something else. They've got the luxury manufactories. Plus 50 fame on constructible. We want to get to humanism as absolutely fast as possible, right? So we're just going to click humanism. We'll get there quick and then we'll take it slow. We have a fight again? They're gonna push this? Oh my goodness! Where is this fight taking place? What is even happening? Oh, they're attacking my other... Who's being attacked here? My peasants are being attacked. Oh, this unit's not even in the... Where is this? What's happening? Oh, these guys are out here. They can't participate. So basically, Plosif is saying, you can't attack these people. It's a knight with the boats as reinforcement. Yeah, but I can't... Wait, do any of these boats... Cogs can't attack on land. None of these boats can actually help him. Would we not win this fight? I don't think any of these boats can attack land. I don't think you can attack land until Karaks. Yeah, cannot target land units. Cannot target land units. So, his boats would just be sitting there. We would, the battle would take place over a substantial amount of time because we would just, well, actually, no, we could just be shooting his boats. Oh, we take this fight. We take this fight. We kill the knight and then we just start shooting all of his boats because his boats will just be sitting there. Hi. Oh, do we only have one? Can we only deploy on one? Oh, that's why we're a loss. Oops. We can only deploy on one tile, and it's a terrible tile to deploy on. Oh, that's very... Yeah, we're just going to die. He's just going to attack down into us with a knight. We're just going to die. Oh, that sucks. I wish we could bring these guys in, but they retreated. Well, that's a mistake on my part. I think this guy's just going to die, right? Oh, he's got more units. Son of a gun. What's he bringing in now? What other... Oh, now he's bringing in whole armies. I hate that you can't see these guys. Okay, so now we just want to... we just lose the unit, and then we just call it good. That's unfortunate. I don't know where all these other regiments came from that are coming into the fight. The fact that it didn't display them as like part of the fight that means they were outside of the battle lines and they came in after the fight was taken. That's very difficult to be able to predict. Okay. We lost a unit. We lost a unit and we're retreated down into here now, so hopefully he could still push us if he wanted to. But he's got all his units are sitting up here. So our whole plan to attack this city has become like very problematic if Explosive won't allow us up there. My plan is not to, you know, like we're just gonna sit here, I guess. We'll hang out for a little bit. Wonder if we could initiate an attack on his knight. Just get rid of this knight. Oh, we're still in a retreating stance? I guess so. Okay. So, let's see. Let's go look at all of our cities now, because now that we're in the early modern, we need to kind of recalculate what we're doing here. We don't have to have these... Well, actually, we want to have a couple mouse in, because food has become highly problematic. We also want to switch our expert policy back to science over gold, because we want to push our scientists again. We desperately need more districts. Specifically, it would be very nice to have more hamlets, which we have not put in at all at this point. What's our fastest Noust, though? It's the one we have in. So maybe we finish this Noust for the food, because that will save us right as we go up. We'll get more food. So we finish this Noust, and then we can recalculate on this one. That's probably fair. Actually, we also need to get Todaji in. You know what? Let's get Todaji in more of our cities. I think we just try to finish it. 4 turns left on that, but again, I think we're just going to build Todaji at this point. These guys are already on Todaji. We're building a garrison here. That's because we want to be able to attach, but I think we just flip Todaji in here as well. Probably should have done this before. Ah, we can buy in our harbor. Is that a good 20? We could do a 20 here and then double up on putting a really nice like district in right there, but I guess this gets us... Actually, this gets us access to build here, so let's just do that. I think that's fine. We also can put more harbors in, although this is debatably a bad play, right? Because... Oh no, Kral hasn't attached them yet. Oh, it's this one in the middle. Yeah, so I guess we just put it in. 8-3, 8-3... We could get a few more food if we put it out here, but I really like the idea of sticking it in here. I think that's going to look cool. I think we're just going to put it here. That gives us a really nice market quarter. That would be a great VOC warehouse. An excellent VOC warehouse, if I do say so myself. Kral kind of needs this garrison, to be honest. I think I'm going to leave the garrison queued here. Although, how many... Man, if we put Todaji in here... 3-turn Todaji... Well, that's 3-turn Todaji. Because I want access to wonders, right? None of the wonders have been claimed. Oh, and we want Brussels Town Hall something fierce, actually. Once completed, gain 50 fame for each previously claimed cultural wonder in your empire, which is quite a few. We gotta beeline it for Brussels. We also technically would love to have Machu Picchu, because we want to distribute all of that food from our capital city out to the rest of our place. So we're gonna be wonder building, I guess. If it helps us win the game, I suppose that's what we're doing. All right, let's do one more turn. Yeah, we're so far behind in builds, and here we keep just claiming and building wonders. Look, it's a wonderful thing. I'm sure it's good for our empire. see if we see any curiosities. We should probably just have these guys on auto explore. I'm kind of dinking around, floating them all over the place. Well, we can get our other cog can come join them, you know. We'll have a bigger navy that way, so that's handy for us. All right, these guys. Okay, that boat moved, so we're good to start coming through here now, hopefully. All right, these guys are together now, and we'll just stay in the coastal water. These armies are... I don't know how we're going to pull this off if we keep getting attacked like we are. Do you dare to scoot back into this territory? Like, tempt plosive back out again? They're not retreating anymore, right? Well, this army still is. I bet we get attacked here again. Yep, right away. Unbelievable. He has so many units here, too. It's a prowler, and then it's just getting reinforced by, like, everything. Oh, wait, I can't retreat? Oh, because we're being ambushed by a prowler. That is brutal. Oh, the ambush. Getting ambushed by a single unit into this circumstance is infuriating. I feel like that should change. Getting ambushed by one unit and then that unit being allowed to get reinforced, I don't understand that whatsoever. All right, well, I guess our whole plan to attack this city-state is just like, because this army's dead. I can't reinforce with this guy, so these guys are just gonna die. We arguably should just instant resolve this, because it's literally just gonna be a slaughtering. This is all of our great units, all of our beautiful units. I guess we shouldn't have pushed up. I mean, I have to fight it. I don't want to not fight it, you know? I guess we make them come to us, though. Feels bad. Feels bad. We just give up our flag and see if we can have a couple units live. Stop moving your boats around! Just end this! Okay, well, so that's why, again, I guess it's just a good example of why do we manual fight battles? Well, we saved all but one of our units, right? Oh, wait. Son of a gun. Why? Why? Then he's like, oh, never mind. I want to come get you now. Just kidding. The last two turns were a big joke. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Okay, we only lost 2 units. It's brutal over here on this continent. All right, we need to leave. We need to leave this continent. That's for sure. Freight is being poached. All right, we'll check in on that next time. That is the end of this episode. That was infuriating, and I did not like at all the fact that one unit can ambush me and then force me into a fight where they get reinforced by like a ridiculously large army. I don't know if that's really realistic in any way, shape, or form, and I don't like that mechanic at all. The ambush mechanic, I feel like, actually needs a lot of work because it actually causes quite a bit of problems. Even if you're the one ambushing, because you could actually get your armies locked into a fight where your guy is ambushing, where you didn't even tell him to ambush. You can get locked into a fight in a similar circumstance. So that was a little bit of a frustrating way to end the episode, but that's okay. I feel like we're kind of cruising along here. I know we didn't get very many turns done there, but we had to move up. We'll be flying through turns, hopefully, in this next episode. We're going to be cruising. We'll get some wonders built. We'll try to get our cities back online. We're going to try to earn stars at as rapid a pace as we possibly can. We're currently only 1,500 fame away, so we close the gap a little bit. It's going to be tight. This is going to be a very close game. Icarus has a lot of land, so we're going to have to see how that goes. Technically, we could start burning down more territories of his. That might be an interesting option. We'll consider that in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification button so you know when we release these videos. I will see you next week.